Now today, this is the today's question. Okay. Now the question is, demographic dividend in India will remain only theoretical unless our manpower becomes more educated, aware, skilled and creative. What measures have been taken by the government to enhance the capacity of our population to be more productive and employable? Now this particular question this is basically your previous year question, which has been asked by UPSC already in the year I think 2016-2017. Now this is related to this thing. Now you need to understand, again we will follow the same model whereby we will have one introduction, we will have one body and we'll write some conclusion also. But the question here is, it has to be within 200 words. And if we go by the analysis of the question, they are just asking this part, the measures. So we need to address this particular thing in a more comprehensive way. Plus we also need to talk about this particular thing. This demographic dividend in India will remain only theoretical unless manpower becomes more educated, aware, skilled. So we have to write something related to this also, and then we'll move on to write the measures or the body part. Okay. Now this particular question I will make you write to understand what all things you could have written over here. So you please write this. This is your introduction. When you talk about introduction, you need to understand 2-3 things here. In this particular thing, the first thing that I'm going to do is to define what is demographic dividend. That is important. Define demographic dividend. Okay. When I'm going to define it, I will also add some data to it. If I have any data, be it from budget or economic survey or census or something like that, or if there is any international organization, if they have talked about demographic dividend, so I can use that data also. Then I am going to certain points which is going to satisfy this particular statement. The first part of the statement, demographic dividend in India will remain only theoretical unless our manpower becomes more educated, aware, skilled and creative. Now you need to understand one thing over here, that I will make subpoints out of this only. What? My first subpoint will be educated. I will write something related to educated. I will write something related to aware. I will write something related to skilled. I will write something related to creative. Is it okay? This is how I'm going to make sure that every part of the question has been addressed. So you write the definition first. You write according to United Nations Population Fund. According to United Nations Population Fund, demographic dividend means the economic growth potential that can result from shifts in the population's age structure, can result from the shift in a population's age structure, mainly when the share of the working age population is larger than the non-working age share of population. Is it okay? Now you need to understand, I could have written like this, that demographic dividends, the whole statement. But I have deliberately added this according to United Nations Population Fund. What is the idea over here? The idea is to add credibility to the definition that I have written, that this particular definition is defined by a global level institution also. Is this clear to you? So first point, you need to understand this. Whenever you are going to write definition, you need to add credibility to it. Second is, now I will have certain data also. So you write the data that as of 2023, this dividend, as of 2023, this dividend, sorry, as of 2023, approximately, you write, not dividend, approximately 65% of country's population, 65% of country's population is in the working age. Okay. Now I'll try to, so this is all the positive thing which I have talked about. Now I will try to change the tone of the paragraph. However, you can write, however, this dividend can only be fully realized if the population is, here I am going to talk about, here I am trying to use arrows and all. Only if the population is what? It is well educated. Second thing can be related to that this whole population is adequately skilled. That is also important. So they have to be educated and they have to be skilled. Third thing is, after having skill also, they should be what? Employable. They should have a job at hand. Aisa nahi ki I learned the skill but still I don't have a job. Is it clear? This is going to be the first para, whereby now I have written more than enough. Now I will go on and try to address this measures wala part. What is this measures can be there. Okay. When I talk about measures, what is the idea behind writing these measures and all? So you just need to write. Why I am going to write the measures and all? Because the objective here is that I need to improve the employability. I mean, this is just a directive. I mean, you are not supposed to write this in your answer. This is just to tell you what is the objective using which I'm going to take the measures. Okay. So the first idea here is, if I am the government and I could see that, a lot of people, a lot of youth they are not employed. So I will work towards employability. Okay. Employability means I will try to make them learn certain skills. Second point you can write is improving educational performance. Improving educational performance. This is very, very important. Improving education, because now it's not that you will just go and sit and listen to the classes. Rather, I will also try to check your learning outcomes, that whether you are able to learn or not. Okay. Improving educational performance. Next, now my focus will be on low income population. These are, again, I'm telling you that you just need to understand the whole matrix over here. Now this thing will be put up in the form of a case study, that as a district magistrate, what all measures will you take to improve this particular situation. So now you have to write these things, that okay, I will first work towards employability, then I will make sure that the educational outcomes, they are goal oriented, then I will make sure that I'm able to focus on those people who have low skilled. Okay. Acha. Next you can write over here is very important, women's employment. Okay. Now what is the idea over here? Why I am doing this thing? And what is this idea? Because basically I'm expecting, you can write here, investment in where? Investment in social infrastructure. Investment in social infrastructure. Investment in social infrastructure. And if I as a government is going to do it, the idea is that it is going to enhance what? Enhance productivity. Enhance productivity of what? Workforce. Enhance productivity of workforce and welfare. Welfare of whom? Welfare of population. Welfare of population. This is the idea. You imagine it like this, imagine that there was no metro. Now, if there was no metro, either you could have used auto on a daily basis, or imagine there is a bus, only bus will take a lot of time to reach over here. So ultimately what is going to happen? Your time is going to take, plus if you want to come up in a very speedy manner, you have to take Ola and Uber, which is, for that you have to pay good amount of money. So metro as a social infrastructure has been created so that your transportation becomes smooth and you can travel at a very cheap price. Okay. Acha, next, when I talk about educational performance, this I remember when I was in Imphal mein there is this college called Modern College. A modern college mein, what is the problem is that there are no students. It is like a DU. It is like a DU whereby faculties will go, they will have their breaks and all, but I mean, you imagine that this is the whole classroom. Is classroom you have only 2 students sitting and 1 faculty is teaching. That is the level of the educational performance over there. So I'm not one to criticize the government and all, that is, leave it to them. The idea here is, even if I imagine that these faculties are getting, let's say, since it's a government college, 1 lakh rupees. The minimum amount of 1 lakh rupees they are getting from the government. Into, I am imagining the whole college. In the whole college, only 5 faculties are being hired. That's it. So it means what? 5 lakh is being given to these people from the government exchequer, government fund. Now 5 lakh, and I'm saying that it is being given for 12 months. This is coming out to be 60 lakhs. That's it. Now imagine I'm spending the money, but there is no improvement in the educational performance. Rather, the educational outcome is 0. So all the 60 lakh that the government is spending year on year basis, it is going as a waste. Okay, because now the people over there will come here, I mean to Delhi or to some other states for quality education, for jobs and all. Anyway, have you understood the whole structure? Now, depending upon what kind of points I have, depending upon my readability, depending upon that how much content I do have, I am going to write this. Okay, this is the whole objective. Now you write few things over here. Now basically I just need to talk about the schemes over here. The first point you can write is education. Education. Ab education mein I am going to talk about, now see the question. Ab question mein kya, what the tone of the question is, I am not expecting you to suggest something. I am just expecting you to write what measures government has taken already. So what measures have been taken by the government? It means that you should know few government schemes. So in education mein you can write, Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. Second you can write over here is Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan. This is it. Okay. You can, if you have a lot more, you know about lot of programs and all, obviously you can write. Okay. Second is I will write about awareness. Awareness mein I am going to write National Digital Literacy Mission, or we will call it NDLM, National Digital Library Mission. Now, what is the idea of this National Digital Library Mission? The idea is that if you are going to any of the libraries, their books are limited in nature. It may not be able to catch. So if you need one book, if you need, let's say there is this particular book that every one of you need it. For that to happen, the library has to maintain an inventory. It means that I have to purchase those 100 books, which is not possible. So what I will do is I will put this into an ID, or you say in the web, you say in the digital mode, whereby you can have access through your IDs. So now what is happening is, it does not matter whether you're able to come to library or not, rather you can access the resources in a remote fashion also. So you can write here, this particular thing is, you can write here that this is going to promote digitally empowered society. Digitally empowered society. Okay, digitally empowered society. Here you can write, it is going to talk about what? Digital literacy. Second point you can write is, now you understand that I just cannot talk about digital literacy mission and all, because now to make sure that it is reaching to the rural part of India also, internet connection has to be there. Because without internet, these services cannot be availed by the people who are staying at the remotest part of the country. So you can write here, for this you can also write improving internet connectivity. That is important. Okay. Next, third may I can write over here is, Acha, just a minute, I can also go on to write about awareness. I can write Beti Bachao Beti Padhao. Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign. Basically, it is going to promote on what? Gender equality. It is going to promote what? Gender equality. Okay. Now, third thing is, just like every college has their placement cell, whereby they have this target to make sure that the student is being placed. So now you can have National Career Services also. National Career Services also. And this National Career Services, what is the task? It is going to offer career counseling. It is going to offer career counseling. Then it is going to offer what? Job matching. Job matching based on what? Based on your skill. Then it is going to talk about that, okay, you have come to this point. If you develop this particular skill, you can get a job of this particular salary. They will talk about this also. Second, they are going to talk about is vocational guidance. Vocational guidance services. Vocational guidance services. Okay. So all this is being done so that they are able to talk about the career option that these people may have. It's as simple as that, career options. So the idea of National Career Services is to tell people about what all career options they can have based on the, for example, everyone knows that again you can go for MBA. But a lot of the time a middle class family cannot afford to go and pay 20-25 lakhs for IIMs also. So they may go for executive MBAs, whereby the cost will be less, plus the duration will also be less. You for example, now you are not in a position to clear CAT also. So in that particular case, you can go for online MBAs also. All these recordings will be provided to you, so you can sit and remotely you can attend the classes. Okay, so that thing can also be there. Acha. Next, यहाँ पे देखो, this is done. Next, I can going to write is very important is skilling. Very important is your skilling. अब skilling में what is there? Skilling में I am going to write सबसे पहले प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना. प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना. What is the idea of Kaushal Vikas Yojana? Because now I want to train youth in the industry relevant skills. So I will write here, train youth in industry relevant skills, because that is more important, because otherwise that is going to make them employable. That is going to make them what? Employable. काम ऐसा सिखाऊंगा जिससे नौकरी लग सके. Okay, next you can write is recognition of prior learning. इसलिए you will see that academic credits also, this academic banks also started to come into picture. What is it? Now imagine that, I completed till class, I enrolled in an engineering program, but after second year I had to drop out because of financial conditions. Now if I have to start, I may not be starting from again the first year, second year. So now government will make sure that I start from where I stopped. So from second year I will continue and get educated myself. Okay, so recognition to prior learning should also be given. Next you can write here is this scheme called Sankalp. Next you can write over here is national skill development corporation. Okay, next you can write is national apprenticeship promotion scheme. Okay, so you can talk about these things also. Next you can write over here is, now we will write, have you written this now? No. You can write. Next you can write over here is creative. Under creative, what are creative may see, the first thing that I talked about was education, awareness, skilling. Now I do need to promote creativity also, because otherwise what is going to happen is nobody is going to think of creating jobs. Nobody is going to think of creating jobs. Rather, everybody wanted to have a job. कुछ सब लोग जो हैं, they will never think of this entrepreneurship. So here I am going to promote their creativity also. Now imagine those people who are into drones and all. Now this particular sector will boom in some years. So if you are someone who has been started doing in this particular sector, it means what? There will be a lot of jobs that with this drone industry is going to create. So you can write here in creativity, you can write few things. Ab this creativity I need to promote from the school level only. Because you imagine that from the school level, if I get that environment that, okay, I want to create this, I want to make this, rather than, going and fight for this competition, jobs may not be created. And that is also one of the reason every college in India, majority, I'm not saying every college, majority of the colleges in India, they do have entrepreneurship cells in the campuses. That you want to have an idea, bring it to us. We will connect you to the investors and all. If the idea is feasible, if you need any mentorship, if you need any, the product development and all, we will guide you, we will mentor you so that you are able to scale your product. Ultimately, what is going to happen? Jobs will be created. So you can write over here, you will have Atal Tinkering Labs. Second, you can write is PM Research Fellowship Scheme. PM Research Fellowship Scheme. This PM Research Fellowship Scheme mein, what is going to happen is basically it is for all the individuals who are doing their masters. Now this is a fellowship by the Prime Minister of India, whereby if you get selected based upon the idea, funds will be given to you. And so basically this is a recognition of your work. This is a recognition that you have an idea and you do want to pursue this very seriously. So तुम्हें funds की कोई कमी नहीं होगी. All you need is the effort. But the problem here is my younger brother got this particular fellowship. Now when he got this, one of the problem that so after MTech, if you after BTech, if you go to MTech, you need to give this exam called GATE. If you give GATE, so you will get a stipend of almost 35,000 to 40,000. Now since he got this research fellowship in the campus itself, he started getting 80,000. And this 80,000 was this Ministry of Education. 80,000 plus every year he will have 2 lakh rupees in case he want to buy anything related to his project. Let's say he want to buy an iPad or a laptop. That fund will also be reimbursed. Plus if he is going to go for any seminars or conferences, again it will be sponsored trip. The problem here is now he is in US. He has been funded by the US government. Now we do have such schemes. It's very good. There is, I mean, basically it is trying to promote the research thing. Now if he is going and working with the US government, all the inputs that the government of India has invested in him, it is going to create a zero for India. Because now if he gets a good offer with the US government or the Canadian government or the German government, he will go and take up a job over there. So though you have such schemes, but then the output will be very, very zero. Okay. Next you will see you write AICTE. In this you can write AICTE. You can write scheme for promoting interest, creativity and ethics among students. Basically this is your SPICES, SPICE. Okay. Next, in conclusion you write the dreams of huge income flow. In conclusion you write the dreams of huge income flow and resultant economic growth due to demographic dividend could be realized only when we inculcate the required skills in the workforce to make it as competent as its counterparts in the developed world. I'll repeat it. The dreams of huge income flow and resultant economic growth due to demographic dividend could be realized only when we inculcate the required skills in the workforce to make it as competent as its counterpart in the developed world. Okay, this is the whole structure. You may not know the schemes and all, just Google it out. So majority will be related to skills only. Just need to check what is the criteria. Some is going to target SC, ST, OBC, EWS. Some is going to target the lower people. So you can see according to that. Have you understood this whole idea? This is how you, ab yahan pe whatever the articles we have discussed in the first week, can you bring some points over there? Can you bring some points over there? Now you can also, so this is the standard thing. Now since you have read these things, can you talk about that Gulf wala thing also? That government is promoting or government is training so that people from India, they can go to the Middle East. Government is going to facilitate that training also now. That okay, you are going there, so government is going to train you in their culture, in their, let's say, in their rules and laws. So that step will be done by the government only. So again, the answer will differ based on your readability, based on your content, and based on how much answers you have written. This is the whole idea. Anyway, इसको लिख लिया, ठीक है.